Hi guys, welcome back to Foodie Families. This week we are making pumpkin pie from scratch. I am super excited for this one. Before we get started, there's a couple things to go over. Remember to wash your hands, especially if you're going to be cooking for other people. Tie your hair up or wear a cap. Make sure you're working on a clean surface. Have all of your equipment ready so that way you're not having to run back and forth once you get started. And have fun! Alright, let's go ahead and get into this. So for the first part, we are going to take our pie pumpkins, and I picked these up at the grocery store. They're just small pumpkins. You can use pretty much any pumpkin you want, but these are sweeter and they give you a nice pie flavor, or flavor for your pie. You're going to need a cookie sheet, oven ready, aluminum foil, a knife. You want to make sure that parents are the ones using the knives, a spoon for digging out the pumpkin guts, a fork for when we check our pumpkins later to see if they're fork tender. We're going to put our pumpkin guts in a bowl, and you can either pitch those, dry them and save them to plant, or you can clean them off and roast them. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get these gutted and put on our tray. Again, the parents need to be the ones using the knives or any sharp utensils that you're using. So we're going to start. Before you do this, go ahead and wash your pumpkins off like you would any other produce. I'm going to go ahead and just lop off the top of this pumpkin here, just like you would if you were going to carve. Alright, now we're going to cut it right in half. The recipe calls for 2 small pumpkins. I got 3 just in case because these were kind of little. Alright, we've got them cut in half, and we're going to go ahead and gut them. We're going to take our bowl. We're going to take our spoon, and we're just going to scoop out the seeds.
And thank you, Mommy.
Give me just a second. Alright, I've got my first one done. I went ahead and gutted it. I'm going to set that to the side, and I will meet you guys right back here. We're going to go ahead and gut the other 2. Alright, so I finished with gutting my pumpkins. We are going to go ahead and prep them for the oven. Alright, so this is where you need your cookie sheet. You could put them straight on the sheet. I'm going to use some aluminum foil.
Yeah, I want one.
So I'm just going to go ahead. So my pan is prepped with my aluminum foil. I'm going to go ahead and put the pumpkins on here.
That's a cool bit. That's a cool bit. I couldn't pockets. I can't pockets. I can't pockets.
And we are going to put that in the oven on 400 degrees for 45 minutes. Alright, while we wait for our pie pumpkins to roast, we are going to work on our pie crust. Alright, so I'm going to use my recipe that I always use from this cookbook. Alright, you ready, buddy? Okay. So we're going to use 1 1/4 cup flour. Let me scoop that out and then you can dump it. Does that sound good?
It's my turn.
Yeah. We're going to do 5 of these. Hold on. Alright, you dump it. Over here. And dump it. Good job.
Okay, I want you.
Mommy's going to help. Hold on. Okay, dump that. 2. Oh, you gotta be easy. 2. Go ahead and just dump it right in the flour. Well, and dump it. 3. Good job. 4. And last one. 5. Good job. Mommy's gonna go ahead and sweep the edge here. Just a little bit more since we spilled some on the paper. Okay. There's our flour. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
I do flour. I do flour, Daddy.
Good job, buddy.
I do flour.
Good job.
Mommy do flour with me.
Alright, we ready to put the salt in?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need salt.
Yeah.
And then what we also need water and butter for this. Alright, well Mommy can get her lid off her salt. So we're just going to do it this way. Can you dump that in there? Good job.
You need the, I need them more.
Hold on. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give that a good stir. Stir. Stir that up. Gotta do it slowly. Good job. Alright. Now we need, it says a 1/3 cup shortening, but I'm going to be using salted butter. So I'm going to go ahead and take a stick of butter. I think you can see the dark lines. This shorter dark line here, that's a 1/3 cup. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off. And we'll actually use that later to grease our dish. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one to the side. And I'm going to cut this in chunks and put this in the pie crust.
It's my turn.
Hold on, Mommy's got to cut this. As soon as I get it cut, then you can put it in there, okay? So you're just going to cut it into chunks. Cut it into chunks and then you'll put it in the flour.
Put it in flour.
Yeah. And this has been sitting out for just a little bit. It's not super soft, but it's not frozen solid. It's like it's a good consistency for us to cut it into the flour.
Rectangle.
All right. Mommy forgot her pastry cutter. So, can you put these in the flour? Put them in the flour one by one all over the place while Mommy gets her pastry cutter. Are you done?
Yeah.
Almost. Oh, there we go. All right, now that we got that in there, we're going to take a pastry cutter. If you don't have one, you can use a spoon and do it, but this makes it easier. So we're going to take a pastry cutter and we're going to cut our butter in until it's crumbly. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I can... We've got our butter cut into our flour. So we need to add 4 to 5 tablespoons of water. I usually use about 8 tablespoons, but I only mix it a couple tablespoons at a time. Can you sit that down, please? Thank you. All right. So I'm going to move this flour out of the way. Okay. Can you dump the water in there? 1, 2, and we'll do 3 for right now. All right, and then I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to mix it around. So we want to do this until our flour is a nice dough consistency. So that's soaked up, so we're going to add some more. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and move that around. I also add a little bit of extra water because when I roll it out, I flour the table. So if I don't add that extra, it dries out my dough really bad, and then it doesn't get the consistency that I would like for it to. Can you please put that down and stop swinging it? Thank you.
Sorry.
You're okay. All right, we're almost there.
Good job, baby.
You want to do it? 7.
We'll hold the cup.
Here, Mommy will hold the cup since it's glass. Put that in there. Good job. Can you put the spoon back in the cup?
I won't get them all.
Hold on. We don't need more yet. All right. So 8 tablespoons hasn't quite gotten it to where I would like for it to be. You want it to press together nice into a bowl, but you don't want it to be too wet.
Daddy, I mixed it.
You're mixing?
I mixed it with Mommy.
You're mixing with Mommy? Good job, buddy.
Hey, Daddy. You know you grandma, yeah.
We're almost there. I'm gonna add
grandma.
a little, about half a tablespoon more. Hold on. We should be good.
I need them.
All right, hold on. We're getting ready to roll out the dough. You want to help Mommy roll out the dough? All right, so now I've got it to where it's sticking together. I'm going to go ahead and flour my surface, and we're going to dump our dough out onto the table.
I should this.
Here, let's roll your sleeve up again. Push, 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 push. Push, 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 push.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome, baby. All right, so I floured my surface. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of flour on my hands. Can you hold your hand out? Oh, you're going to do it? Good job. Can you hold your hand out like this? All right, take it and rub your hands together like this. Good job. We got flour on our hands so our hands won't stick. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the dough. And I'm going to roll it out. And this is for a single crust pie crust. All right, we're going to put that down on the table. Gonna turn it. Knead it just a little bit. You don't want to do it too much because it becomes too elastic and you won't get a nice flake. And you also don't want to break down your butter too much. All right. You ready to roll? Here we go. Use our rolling pin. All right, we're gonna roll it out into a circle shape. Let me help. Good job. All right, hold on. It's probably a good idea to go ahead and flour your rolling pin too so it's not sticking to the rolling pin. All right, go ahead and roll out again. Need some help? All right, you're gonna press down and roll. Good job. Almost. All right. Mommy's gonna go ahead and finish it out, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and roll it out. All right, so here's my pie plate. I'm just gonna lay it out because you want enough to go over the edges just a little bit so you can crimp your edges. All right, so I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and fold my pie crust in half and then in half again. I'll bring my pie plate over here in front of me. I'm gonna take my folded pie crust and I'm going to unfold it in my pie plate. I have to stretch it a little bit. When you do that, just press gently. Try not to press too hard or you'll put tears in it. So I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna stretch it. And then drape it over the edge. You wanna do the same thing all the way around.
Daddy's gonna try to lay me down again, okay?
So I'm gonna just push my dough around a little bit. Be careful not to put holes through the bottom, okay? And then I'm going to take my dough and just crimp it along the edge of my pie plate. I've got a couple of thin spots at the bottom of my crust, so I'm just gonna push some of this dough down into the bottom there. And make sure it's all one nice even thickness. Alright, so we're gonna set that aside and we are gonna work on our pastry, or not our pastry, our spices for our mix. And then by that time, our pumpkin should be done and ready. So we'll go ahead and mix our spices. Now, if you don't want to go through this whole process, you can get canned pumpkin. For one pie crust, you need a 15-ounce can. But I like to use the spice ratios that are on here, but I add a little extra spices myself. So we want 3/4 cup sugar. We're going to be using brown sugar instead of white sugar. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so if you want to use white sugar instead, you can do that. It's still 3/4 cup.
Hold on.
So I'm not going to pack it very much. I'm just going to level it. Break it down in there. And 3/4 cups. I'm using a small bowl because we're not going to be adding very much volume wise of the other spices, so this will be perfect. Alright, so we also need cinnamon and salt, ginger and nutmeg, and I like to add some clove to mine as well. Okay, so we need a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to pop the top of this off. Grab a teaspoon. If it's a little bit more, that's fine. We're going to drop that in there. Half a teaspoon salt. Oh, if I can get my lid off. There we go. A teaspoon of salt. Let's dump that in there. Again, it's a half a teaspoon ginger and nutmeg. And then I do a 1/4 teaspoon of the cloves. Got nutmeg. ginger. And then, like I said, a 1/4 teaspoon of your cloves. Alright. Go ahead and take my little measuring spoon. I'm going to give this a nice stir and we're going to set it aside for when our pumpkin is ready. I chopped on our pumpkins. They were fork tender, so check to just take your fork, and if it easily punctures the meat of the pumpkin, it's ready. And it only took about 30 minutes instead of 45, and I think that's just because of the size of the pumpkins that I bought. So now what we're going to do is we're going to peel the skin off and let your pumpkins cool for a bit so that way you're not touching straight out of the oven food. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip my pumpkin. I'm going to go ahead and start just taking my fork and I'm going to peel the skin away from the meat. I suggest letting it cool as much as you possibly can. There we go. And then the meat I'm going to scoop up and I'm going to put in a bowl. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to zero out my bowl on a kitchen scale because we're going to need 15 ounces, just like as if you were to purchase a can of pumpkin puree. I'll place my bowl, zero out, and then I'm going to scoop my pumpkin in there. All right, I'm going to finish the rest of these and I will meet you back. I'm going to slide this out of the way. Bring my bowl front and center, turn my scale off. Okay, so for this you need a puree. You can use a blender, you can use a food processor. I'm going to be using a potato masher. So you just want to go through and mash your pumpkin into a puree. Right, rather than get my blender out, I found my little by hand food processor. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to attach my blade. Again, this is something that adults need to be using because it is sharp. So we're going to go ahead and take our spoon. I'm going to put my blade down here first. Scoop my pumpkin into my processor. Secure the lid on there. And start turning it. Right, I've got my pumpkin pureed. I'm going to go ahead and return it to my bowl. In the bowl, so we can go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. First of our ingredients, we need to go ahead and grab that sugar and spice mixture. We need 1 egg, I believe. Yes, no, 2 eggs. Sorry, 2 eggs, and then a can of evaporated milk. Okay, so Whoop. Make sure there. Dump 1 egg in. Two eggs in. We're gonna give that a stir. Whoop. Gonna stir the egg into the puree. And this is what's gonna help solidify our pie.
I'm here.
Hi, baby.
Here.
You're here? Would you like to dump the spices into the pumpkin puree?
Yeah, Mommy.
All right, come here. Come over here. Nope,
You need
we don't need that. Here, come here. We dump that in there. Okay, go ahead and grab it. Dump, dump, dump. Good job.
I need some more eggs.
Go ahead and dump your sugar
I need
mixture in
more
there.
eggs.
No, we don't need more eggs. Thank you. Go ahead and dump your sugar and spice mixture and go ahead and give it a good stir. Go ahead and add our.
It's a lot of
Would you like to help add the evaporated milk?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna shake. Well, can you shake this for mommy? Shake, 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 shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Ooh, nice strong muscles. Can you shake it with the other hand real quick? Shake, 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 shake. Good job. Do you think it's shaken up enough?
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna go ahead and shake your evaporated milk well and then open it from either side. You're gonna add this a little bit at a time. And yes, it calls for an entire 12-ounce can. So make sure it's a 12-ounce can. So we're gonna add just a little bit of that at a time.
Yep. Here,
Give it a nice mix. Do you want to help mommy pour the evaporated milk in?
This.
Here, come to mommy's other side. Come over here. Come here. No, over here. Axel, over here. Right here. Right here. Can you pour? Oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Here. Can you pour?
Yeah.
Just a little bit at a time. Pour, 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 pour. All right. I'm gonna mix it.
Oh, I need this. I need this.
And with the brown sugar, it's gonna make your pie slightly darker looking than what you would normally see with pie using white sugar. We've got it mixed, and we're gonna go ahead and take our pie shell and we're going to dump our filling mixture into our pie shell. This is a 9-inch. It's gonna be liquidy when you put it in, and it should firm up as it bakes. All right, so we've got that. We need to put this in the oven at 425 for 15 minutes. Reduce the heat to 325 and put it in for another 40 to 50 minutes. And go ahead and go do that. See you guys when it's done. Okay, our pie is done. I did tint the side of my pie to keep the pie crust from burning. It looks so good. It smells delicious. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like, and that'll be it for today. Here is our pie. So you want it to be nice and firm. So when you shake the pie, you don't want the center to be all jiggly. I'm going to go get a knife and we'll put it down the center. Okay, so we're gonna take this knife and we're gonna go in the center. Comes out relatively clean. Can't wait to eat it. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that recipe, and I really, really hope that you love the pumpkin pie that you make. Alright, I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye!